You are listening to Personal Development Mastery, the podcast that empowers you with a simple and consistent actions to take that will help you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. This is another snippet of wisdom where I select my favorite, most insightful moments from previous episodes. Today's snippet comes from the conversation with Victoria Rader, a possibility coach, best-selling author, and holder of PhD in metaphysical studies. It is about the 6 mental faculties, the 6 faculties of our mind. And when we talk about mindset, it's a set of these 6 mental faculties: perception, imagination, intuition, reason, memory, and will. Before we dive into the snippet, if you enjoy listening and appreciate what we're doing here, the simple, quick favor I'd like to ask of you is to click the subscribe button. Now let's get started.
The way I want to cover them very briefly, indeed, is to follow in the order, because it's a cyclical order of how they operate, but also in the parallel order. I'm going to offer cyclical to people that are flow people and parallel to those that are structure people. So we will make everybody happy. We're going to look at 2 aspects. Okay. So in the first one, we're looking at perception as a way to receive information about the world and upgrade ourselves to receiving higher information through gratitude, through starting to see the world as a miraculous so that we can imagine it as miraculous. Think of it as going in and going out, right? And think of it as a tuning fork. If you can imagine a tuning fork, one side is perception, one side is imagination. What is it tuning? It's in tune. It tunes your intuition. The intuition is attuned to the balance between perception and imagination. If you are perceiving the world as scary, you're imagining the worst possible outcome, you are in tuned through the instinct of survival. You are in fear. Your intuition has been defaulted to the biological instinct. It is trapped. It is trapped. You want to free your intuition. You free your intuition through adjusting perception and imagination. So then you're in tune with the guidance, in tune with the guidance. As you are in tune through intuition, you start receiving the guidance first by asking the very beautiful questions, because the universe must answer. And then by simply receiving those answers as you're guided through them. The 3 questions I've shared with Agi, and I share with everybody real quick. What's my theme for the year? What's my theme for the months? What is the one decision I am to make? What is one action I am to take to support my theme for the month in the best and highest, most aligned way? That's a miracle question. I promise you, if you do nothing else, you take this one, it's a miracle question. It intunes you with creating the best reality. So that's intuition. It's what you're into, and you want to be into divine guidance, universal guidance, God's voice, Spirit's voice, knowing your language, same concept. You want to be guided. Now, being guided brings us to will. Seneca said, willing, destiny guides them. Unwilling, destiny drags them. Okay, your divine path, what you've come to do as a soul, you'll either walk with joy or you will be dragged on through bumps. But it's going to happen. You don't have to worry about missing your destiny, okay? So the will, the concept of will is very powerful, because it's a reminder of your, as I see it, all of these, there's no book on them yet. There'll be a program, maybe a book, but the will is a concept of free will. You have free agency to align yourself with divine will, with the best and highest willingness through you, or to push it away and say my way, and say my way. So that's all the will is. As you continually align yourself with divine guidance, with the universal God's will for you and through you, you are willing into existence the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And so we've covered 5, yes, no, I think intuition, perception, memory briefly, imagination, will a little bit. So let's look at the 6th one. The 6th one is reason. Now, reason is my sister challenger. If I had one that was not striking against me, But overreacting for me, it was my reason. My reason reasoned against intuition. I would get a feeling about a person, about an event. But my overly educated brain, addicted to achievements in its not so distant path, would give me a schematics of why it couldn't possibly be a good, why it had to go. So the intuition would say, don't go. And the reason would come in and say, well, here is a doctor on why you should do it. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars, $70,000 on one deal, ignoring my intuition and listening to my reason. So alignment of reason becomes twofolded. Be the cause of your life. Don't live because of it. And two, have your reason support your intuition. And you're like, I don't know, have an intuition. Yep, back to perception, back to square one. Perception, imagination, intuition, memory, will, reason, they're all flowing together. That's the flowy system. And in 1 minute for the structured brain, it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. Think of it this way. There are 3 structures of creating and manifesting your reality. One is input-output. That is your perception, imagination. Input-output, perception, imagination. Okay? The next one is going to be call to action. That's intuition or reason. Call to action. You always want to receive the call to action from intuition and have reason give you reasons to follow it. Okay? And a third one is going to be point of surrender. Point of surrender. Your memory is going to invite you either to surrender to the pain of the past or to the truth of who you are infinitely. Choose to remember who you are infinitely. Surrender to the infinite self. As you do, follow from the place of that sacred infinite self. Will it by aligning the direction in your life. That is a very basic 3-point structure, right? Input, output, point of action, choose to surrender.
Thank you for tuning in. You can listen to the full conversation with Victoria Rader in episode 288. The link is in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this episode, can you think of someone that would find it valuable and share it with them? Thank you so much. And until next time, stand out, don't fit in,